Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook, Dungeon Survival. I can add points infinitely. Chapter 41. After killing the poisonous Wolf King, 4 small balls of light dropped from the opponent's body. Chen Chenggen first turned his head and found that Xuanwu was not injured before picking up the reward. The magic of the highly poisonous Wolf King just now has an exaggerated range, and I don't know how Xuanwu avoided it. As for AKAs, she is just a spirit body now, completely ignoring the influence of the physical level. The reason why she was afraid of the evil god's eyes last time was because the evil god's eyes would pollute the spirit and soul. Both the physical level and the soul level will be polluted by evil gods. Chen Chenggen put away the soul coin and evil soul, and checked the 2 items dropped by the poisonous Wolf King. Scroll of Poison Power. Effect. A one-time enchantment can be applied to the weapon, so that it can obtain additional equipment effects related to poison. Introduction. May the highly toxic counteract the pollution, the unknown source of corrosion. Poison Orb. Effect. Floats into the air after use, locks on the enemy and continuously fires poisonous light bombs. Each poisonous light bomb can cause 20 points of venom damage and poison the target, deducting 15 points of health every second for 30 seconds. The poisonous orb can fire up to 100 poisonous light bombs, which will be destroyed after the number of shots is used up. Introduction. The orb contains highly poisonous magic, which has a certain lethality. It was once a must-have for ancient voodoo masters. The Scroll of Poisonous Power is similar to the Scroll of Power of Earth. It's a pity that these scrolls can only enchant weapons, not other equipment. Otherwise, Chen Chenggen would have used the power of the Earth Scroll long ago. As for the poisonous orb, it's not bad. When dealing with groups, the lethality can only be said to be average. It is not as good as Chen Chenggen's Wolf Soul Roar to wipe out the ground. But against a single target, it has a locking effect. 100 poisonous light bombs bombard a target, and the total damage is even stronger than Flame Slash. Chen Chenggen put both props into the storage space, and then walked to the center of the scene. At this moment, a treasure chest has fallen out of the center of the scene, and it is still a silver chest. Recalling the last time, I took out the armor of darkness from the silver box, this blue piece of equipment marked with Extreme. Chen Chenggen opened the silver box with anticipation. Silver box has been opened. Congratulations on obtaining the treasure map of the ruins. Quote. Seeing the silver box, only a treasure map was opened. Chen Chenggen suddenly had a question mark on his face. However, he still picked up the treasure map and checked the specific information. Relic Treasure Map. Effect. A lost ancient ruin, buried with the treasures of a powerful lord. You can follow the guidance of the map to find the treasure left by the lord of the ruins. Introduction. It was a lord who dared to plunder the power of the gods, but in the end he received the punishment of the gods. The great lord and his subjects were all turned into yellow sand. The treasure map is a scroll with the location of Chen Chenggen recorded as a blue dot on it. Starting with the blue dot, there are 3 routes of different colors, which eventually lead to the location of the treasure. Among them, the green route represents safety, but according to the above information, it takes at least 20 scenes to arrive. The yellow route represents a certain danger, but this route only needs to go through 15 scenes to reach it. The red route represents extreme danger and can be reached in only 6 scenes. However, the last dungeon scene of the red route is marked with a huge red exclamation mark. And it also shows an icon of a golden box. Chen Chenggen frowned slightly. It has to be said that the treasure of this relic lord is very attractive. After all, this is a fierce man who dares to plunder the power of the gods. Although he was eventually killed by the gods. But the treasures he left behind should be extraordinary. So which route to take? The green route is too long, and the yellow route is okay. With my current advancement speed, I can reach the treasure point before the end of the hegemony mode. As for the red route, although it is the shortest, it is the most dangerous. And in the last scene of the red route, the danger factor seems to be suffocating. Chen Chenggen looked at the map in his hand with a pensive look on his face. Another huge exclamation point, and another golden box icon. This made it easy for Chen Chenggen to think that there might be a more advanced gold box than the silver box. However, the higher the quality of the treasure chest, the more terrifying the monster in the scene will be. Let's take the red route. If AKA's perception result is that he must die, it's a big deal to go around the position before entering. Chen Chang'an quickly made up his mind. Danger and opportunity accompany each other, and the more terrifying the enemy, the higher the benefits. Then Chen Chang'an put away the treasure map and looked at the dead body of the poisonous Wolf King. Xuanwu, who was walking slowly, also looked at the dead body of the poisonous Wolf King with longing. Such a huge corpse, after dissection, is enough for them to eat for several days. Wolf King meat. The flesh and blood of the extraordinary creature, the highly poisonous Wolf King, can greatly satisfy hunger, and long-term consumption can greatly improve the ability to resist poison. Wolf King claws. The sharp claws of the extraordinary creature, the highly poisonous Wolf King, are not weaker than blue-quality equipment and are excellent forging materials. Poisonous wolf skin. The fur of the extraordinary creature, the highly poisonous Wolf King, has excellent corrosion resistance and can be used as a forging material. Wolf King bone. A bone full of poison, which is an excellent material for making highly poisonous equipment. In the past 3 hours or so, Chen Chang'an completely dissected the dead body of the poisonous Wolf King. Among them, there are 4 wolf claws that can be used for forging, about 150 kilograms of poisonous wolf skins, and more than 200 Wolf King bones. As for the Wolf King meat that Xuanwu is most concerned about, it is a full 5,000 kilograms. It can only be said that it is a large creature, and the poisonous Wolf King has a lot of flesh and blood. After packing up the inheritance of the poisonous Wolf King, Chen Chang'an began to explore this scene. It's a pity that there is nothing here except white bones and green venom. Venom is considered a valuable item, right? Chen Chang'an stared at the green slime that had accumulated into a pool on the ground, and took out a wooden bottle from the storage space. After a while, the wooden bottle was filled, and a message appeared at the same time. Viscous effect. Possesses a strong corrosive ability. When hitting the target, it can make the opponent enter a poisoned state. Introduction. Change the container. Wooden bottles can't stand the ravages of sticky poison. After reading the message, Chen Chang'an threw out the wooden bottle in his hand. Not long after, the wooden bottle that fell on the ground began to be corroded, leaving only a puddle of sticky poison. This made Chen Chang'an feel a pity, but after thinking about it, he felt normal. After all, this is the product left by the poisonous magic of the poisonous Wolf King. If you want to take away the mucus, you must use some special containers to prevent it from being corroded. This also forced him to give up sticky poison. Afterwards, Chen Chang'an followed the red route on the treasure map and began to walk towards the passage on the right. Of course, before entering, he would also ask AKAs first, and only after confirming that he could leave, would he enter. After a while, Chen Chang'an came to the 22nd scene. The space of this scene is very large, and there are a lot of goblins. Normal Goblin. Combat Power Index 1. Defense Index 1. Introduction. The weakest monster in the dungeon world, and the only crouching dragon and phoenix chick who can stand alongside it, is Slime. Goblin Mage. Combat Power Index 25. Defense Index 1. Introduction. The goblin who masters magic power has powerful fighting ability, but it can't change its fragile body. Be careful of the frost magic it masters. In this scene, there are more than 100 goblins, surrounded by many tents in the center of the scene. In the tent at the core is a goblin holding a staff. Seeing Chen Chang'an appear, all the goblins were alarmed. One of them, the goblin mage, spoke a language that Chen Chang'an could not understand. But seeing all the other goblins surrounding him, while it was chanting with a staff, Chen Chang'an quickly understood what was going on. It seems that after mastering magic, the IQ of goblin mages is not weaker than that of humans, and they all know how to let ordinary goblins fight for them to cast spells. In response, Chen Chang'an just raised his left hand. In an instant, the brand of the wolf's soul flickered and let out a loud roar. With a bang, no matter whether it was an ordinary goblin or a goblin mage, their brains were shattered. The goblin mage sounds scary, but in front of Chen Chang'an, he still couldn't escape the end of being killed with one move. Kill ordinary goblins, get 1 soul coin and 1 evil soul. Kill ordinary goblins, get 1 soul coin and 1 evil soul. Kill ordinary goblins, get 1 soul coin and 1 evil soul. Kill the goblin mage, Get 10 soul coins, 10 evil souls, and Frost Light Bomb skill book. After the wolf's soul roar cleared the land, a large number of kill prompts popped up continuously. After this wave, Chen Chenggen directly obtained 120 soul coins and 120 evil souls. Counting the gains from killing the poisonous Wolf King before, the number of evil souls in his hand has accumulated to 220. After a while, Chen Chenggen came to the corpse of the Goblin Mage and picked up the skill book that had just fallen out. Frost Light Bomb skill book. Quality: white. Effect: can launch a frost light bullet at a target, causing a certain amount of frost damage and slowing down the target. Required to learn: 10 evil souls. Is it white quality? But it has a control effect, so it's barely okay. Seeing that it was a white quality skill, Chen Chenggen suddenly felt disgusted. After all, the skills he has mastered are all green quality skills except for the blue quality alchemy technique. If other people knew what he was thinking, they would probably grit their back molars with envy. After all, apart from Chen Chenggen, only Su Yufan had mastered a skill in the entire friendly area. And the skills he has mastered are still of white quality. After consuming 10 evil souls, the skill book turned into a mass of knowledge, which flooded into Chen Chenggen's mind. Frost Light Bomb. Quality: white. Effect: condensed frost light bullets to deal Spirit 2 frost damage to a target and slow them down by 10% for 6 seconds. Required to level up: 10 wicked souls. Twice the damage of mental attributes. Chen Chenggen was thoughtful. The basic damage of green quality skills almost always starts with 5 times the spiritual attribute. One difference in quality, but a full 3 times the difference. It can also be seen that every time the quality is higher, the power of the skill is very different. Of course, if you want to increase the power of your skills, you can also consider consuming evil souls to upgrade your skills. Under normal circumstances, when most people cannot obtain attribute points, they use skills to obtain powerful combat power. The true purpose of the evil soul is exactly the same. However, Chen Chenggen, who obtained the deep magic bottle, did not upgrade other skills at all except to earn huge benefits from alchemy. Because he almost smashed the evil soul into the 4-dimensional attribute. This is also the root of his ability to challenge many powerful monsters. After Chen Chenggen closes the skill interface, he picks up the Goblin Mage's staff from the dead body. This is a wooden staff, but at the top, there is a blue gemstone that exudes a faint chill. Frost Staff. Quality: green. Equipment requirements: Master Ice and Snow Magic, Spirit 15. Ice Magic Power plus 10%. Equipment effect: Ice Spirit Surge passive. Ice and Snow skills can cause an additional 250 points of frost damage. Introduction: this is a magic staff made of rubbish materials. The only useful thing is the ice and snow gems inlaid on it. Is this the basic attribute of staff weapons? After reading the information about the frost staff, Chen Chenggen was a little surprised. Whether it is heavy swords, long spears or bows and arrows, the basic attributes they provide are attack power. However, the staff is different. It will enable the wearer to master the same type of magic according to different elemental characteristics, and increase the damage ability. Although becoming a mage is a very cool thing, but the frost staff can only benefit ice and snow magic. So Chen Chenggen does not intend to replace the Moonlight Greatsword. After all, whether it is real damage or the powerful flame slash, the Moonlight Greatsword has a stronger damage increasing ability than the frost staff. However, Chen Chenggen did not put it on the auction either. Because of the equipment requirements for the frost staff, no one in the entire area besides him can meet the equipment requirements. Leaving aside the ice and snow magic, almost no one can reach this standard with just 15 points of spiritual attribute. Whether anyone even reaches 10 points of mental attributes is a question. It is difficult for anyone to meet such stringent equipment requirements, unless someone can obtain a large number of attribute points in a short period of time. However, attribute points are difficult to obtain. Perhaps, this is the root cause of the hegemony order. Chen Chenggen sighed, and then walked to the center of the scene. Not surprisingly, after killing hundreds of goblins and the Goblin Mage, the treasure chest dropped in this scene is a bronze chest. The bronze box has been opened. Congratulations on obtaining the weak mana potion blueprint. After opening the bronze box, Chen Chenggen was stunned by the only reward. Actually opened the potion blueprint. And this is a potion that can restore mana. Although for most people, mana is useless. After all, they don't have equipment and skills, so they don't consume mana at all. But for Chen Chenggen, it is extremely important. He has a lot of equipment effects and skills. After each release of a wave, it is often necessary to wait for the mana to recover automatically before entering the next scene. Although Chen Chenggen still kept the weak mana potion he bought from Dr. Bird's beak last time. But this thing, he is going to save it for the critical moment. However, if we can refine weak mana potions, there is no need to keep them unused. But when Chen Chenggen read the information on this blueprint, he couldn't help but frown. Weak mana potion blueprint. Required materials. Cold star grass 0/10, magic fish fruit 0/5. Required knowledge. Alchemy LV.1. Chen Chenggen had never seen any of the materials needed for weak mana potions. Although there are only 2 kinds of materials, it does not mean better collection. I can only ask if anyone has found it. Thinking of this, Chen Chenggen immediately opened the chat area and posted these 2 materials. Big brother Chang'an has finally spoken. Boss, when will I get another batch of little red medicine? My health has dropped to 45% now, so I don't dare to push forward at all. Let me see. Yo, it turns out that the boss needs these 2 materials. What a coincidence, I haven't seen any of them. I'll go upstairs. How did you say that so confidently? Hey, I'm asking for food every day, and I'm asking for support from all the bosses. Crawl monsters for nothing. Now actively advance the scene. As long as you are not unlucky enough to meet those powerful monsters, you won't be afraid of not being able to find food at all. Unfortunately, I have never seen either of the 2 materials that the boss wants. After watching for a long time, Chen Chenggen felt very helpless when he found that no one had collected the cold star grass and the magic fish fruit. It seems that this thing is far rarer than imagined. But at this moment, a private message suddenly came. Lin Qingshan. Boss, I have a lot of cold star grass here, can I exchange some props? Seeing this message, Chen Chenggen replied immediately. Chen Chenggen, how many star grass do you have? I will accept them all. As for props, it depends on how many star grass you have. Lin Qingshan. I have 90 plants of cold star grass here, it should be okay, right? Hearing this, Chen Chenggen couldn't help but froze for a moment. Good guy, did Lin Qingshan break into the growth environment of the cold star grass? After thinking for a moment, he quickly responded. Chen Chenggen, I have 2 bottles of medicine here, 1 bottle can provide 50% of the maximum health shield, and the other bottle is a strong poison. Chen Chenggen, you can smear the poison on the weapon, or throw it into the monster's mouth, which can cause a lot of poison damage. Chen Chenggen, in addition, I can also give you some mutant dog meat. Lin Qingshan, okay, thank you boss, next time if I get something good again, I must tell you first. Before long, the 2 strike a deal. The reason why Chen Chenggen took out the guardian potion and strong poison. It was because after having the powerful healing potion, he didn't really rely on the shield provided by the guardian potion. 50% max health shield, sounds like a lot. In fact, even if Chen Chenggen's physical attribute reaches 90, it is only a 450-point shield. This is not as good as the passive effect of the dark armor, the shadow shield. As for the strong poison, Chen Chenggen originally wanted to poison some powerful monsters. But after the real fight, he found that the powerful monster would never give him a chance to poison him. He can kill weaker monsters in less than a minute. And if they encounter extraordinary monsters in the future, the effect of the poison will be even lower. It's better to let the black snake behind Xuanwu give the enemy a bite of evil poison. As for the other props, they are all very useful, so Chen Chenggen can only take out 2 bottles of medicine, plus a few kilograms of mutated dog meat, in exchange for 90 plants of cold star grass. After the transaction, the 90 plants of Hengxingsao were quickly put into the storage space by Chen Chenggen. Although the cold star grass is enough, without the magic fishy fruit, it is impossible to refine the weak mana potion. It's a pity that after looking at it for a long time, no one in the area has seen the magic fish fruit. Seeing this, Chen Chenggen could only give up temporarily. After a short rest, Chen Chang'an led Xuanwu and AKAs, and followed the guidance of the treasure map, to the dark passage directly ahead. It was not long before they came to the 23rd scene. However, there are no monsters in this scene. Instead, there is a strong man with a beard, beating the iron block. Not far from him, there is also a huge furnace, which emits intense heat, making this scene even hotter than other scenes. Yo, Dungeon Hunter. Let me introduce myself. My name is Ross. As you can see, I am a blacksmith. Are you going to buy equipment, or build weapons? Ross noticed Chen Chang'an's arrival, and asked while striking the iron. Do you have blue quality equipment on your side? Or create blue quality equipment? Chen Chang'an immediately stepped forward when he heard what Ross said. To be honest, the green quality equipment has less and less effect on him. So what he desires now is blue quality equipment. As for the more advanced purple quality, don't think too much about it, it must be extremely expensive. Unless Chen Chang'an took away all the soul coins of more than 7,000 people in his own area, he couldn't afford it at all. Blue quality. Unfortunately, although I can create blue quality equipment, I lack excellent materials and cannot forge it. And I don't have blue quality equipment in my inventory. How about green quality equipment? Ross stopped striking the iron and said calmly, look at my materials, can they be made? As Chen Chang'an said, Ross took out a large pile of forging materials under Ross's gradually surprised and finally dignified expression. Fortunately, this scene is quite big, otherwise, with the size of the Titan bone and the Wolf King bone, this scene could be overwhelmed. Hiss, Wolf King's claws, Magic Eagle's claws, Titan bones, poisonous wolf skin. It seems that the poisonous Wolf King was beaten to death by you. Ross walked to the mountain of materials and touched each of the different materials with a surprised tone. You know the poisonous Wolf King? Chen Chang'an asked curiously. Of course, its only heir was snatched away by the Goblin General. He has been going crazy for a while, and even ran to me. However, our blacksmith is not a vegetarian, and it was eventually beaten away by me. Ross explained casually, and then picked up the 2-meter-long Wolf King's claws. What type of equipment are you going to build? With this material, I can create the ultimate blue equipment. However, in terms of weapons, it is best to choose a long spear or a big sword, so that the Wolf King's claws can exert the greatest effect. As for armor, I think you have the dark armor, so you probably don't need it. As for other materials, there are too many. At most, I can only make another pair of gloves for you. Hearing this, Chen Chang'an thought for a moment before choosing the big sword. First of all, because he is used to using big swords, compared to long spears, big swords are definitely more suitable. Okay, then you wait here and give me some time. Ross took away the Wolf King's claws, Wolf King's bone, and Magic Eagle's claws, and then took out some materials that Chen Chang'an had never seen before, and began to forge the weapon. By the way, let me tell you first, I will pay you to build the equipment for you. The forging cost is 800 soul coins, including the materials I added, a total of 1,200 soul coins. Before forging the weapon, Ross suddenly said, can these materials be used as collateral? Chen Chang'an pointed to the mountain of forging materials. It's useless for him to keep these materials, so he might as well trade them. Yes, in addition, if you want to let me buy all these materials. Not only is it free to forge the great sword and the fist gloves, but I may also offer you hundreds of soul coins. Ross glanced at the material again, and after making a rough value judgment, he immediately spoke. Okay, all these materials will be given to you. Chen Chang'an nodded without any objection. Soon, Ross fired the furnace and began to forge weapons. During this period, Chen Chang'an had nothing to do, opened the chat area, and sent a message to purchase medicinal materials. The main medicinal materials collected this time are blood coagulation grass, red chrysanthemum fruit and red xylocarpus. The 2 previous potion refinements consumed a lot of materials in his hands, so he urgently needed to replenish them. It didn't take long for Chen Chang'an to complete the transaction from others. Now he has 154 blood coagulation plants, 167 red chrysanthemum fruit and 19 red xylocarpus. Among them, the red xylocarpus is the rarest. Even if other people actively explore the scene, they can't find much. Fortunately, the refining of each weak healing potion only needs 1 plant of red xylocarpus as the main material. Although he had a lot of materials in hand, Chen Chenggen did not immediately refine the potion. He still remembered that the identity of a pharmacist had a bad reputation in the dungeon world. Think about the laxatives and blunt potions sold by Dr. Birdsbeak, and you will know how deceitful the pharmacist is. In comparison, being a blacksmith is more practical. So in order for him to obtain the blue quality weapon smoothly, Chen Chenggen did not want to cause Ross's dissatisfaction at this juncture. An hour later, the furnace ignited a high-temperature flame. Ross put a lot of materials into it, quenched it into molten iron, placed it on a large sword grinding tool, and waited for it to cool. Taking advantage of the other party's rare free time, Chen Chenggen took out a gemstone from the storage space. Before the weapon is finished, can you leave a hole? I want to inlay a gem into this weapon. Equip gems. Ross heard the words and hooked his fingers. When Chen Chenggen threw the gem over, he looked at it carefully. It turned out to be an evil spirit gem. This thing can endow the equipment with a characteristic related to the undead. However, if it's inlaid in this unformed weapon, I don't recommend it very much, because it doesn't fit very well with the body material of the poisonous Wolf King. Unless you have a very strong and highly toxic material, I can try it for you. Ross shook his head. Is it poisonous? Chen Chenggen checked the storage space and found that there were only 3 things related to the poison. They are the poison spotted flower that can refine poison, the poison orb, and the poison power scroll. Among them, poison spotted flower is definitely not good, because the intensity is too low, and it is not as good as the sticky poison in the scene of the toxic Wolf King. As for the other 2, the highly poisonous orb is a purely offensive item, so you can't count on it. As for the scroll of poisonous power, I don't have poisonous ingredients, but I have a scroll of poisonous power. Chen Chenggen took out the scroll of poisonous power. As a scroll of poisonous power that can also enchant weapons, it may be able to reconcile with the evil spirit gem. This is not Chen Chenggen's random guess, but his judgment based on his knowledge of medicine. Pharmaceutical materials with different properties can be neutralized by special means, and things like energy may also be able to do it. Otherwise, Ross wouldn't say that he needed highly toxic materials. Poison scroll. This is better than the material. Ross was a little surprised, and quickly took the scroll of poisonous power. But after pondering for a while, he said to Chen Chenggen again. According to my original craftsmanship and the materials I paid myself, after I received your materials, I would post hundreds of soul coins. But now with the evil spirit gem and the poisonous magic rune in this scroll, not only will I not repost, but I will ask you to pay 500 soul coins. Let's talk about it first. This is not me trying to trap your money. It is not an easy task to inlay gems and magic runes, and to coordinate energy with the equipment itself. Also, if you still have the scroll, it's best to take it out now. I'll just adjust the resonance of the energy at once. In order not to have a lot of flaws like your weapon. Ross said, looking at the moonlight sword in Chen Chenggen's hand with illusion. You said that there is a big problem with this big sword. Chen Chenggen was a little puzzled. Yes, although it has reached the ultimate green quality, if it does not add fire magic runes, but water magic runes, it has already been promoted to blue quality. Ross nodded. In this case, let's add this scroll. Chen Chenggen thought for a moment, and took out the scroll of power of the earth. He didn't expect to spend so many props to build a weapon this time. However, there is a specialization in the art industry, and it is better to leave it to Ross to handle forging. Of course, if the opponent fails to create a great sword that satisfies him. Chen Chenggen didn't mind stuffing the evil eye into the opponent's mouth either. Earth scroll. Well, with this thing, energy coordination will be easier. Dungeon Hunter, get ready to witness the birth of an epic. The forging of roads is still going on, and Chen Chenggen is not ready to go to the next scene until the opponent's forging is completed. Although after entering the next scene, the passage he walked through will not be blocked. But Ross said that the passage to retreat to the rear will randomly appear in the scenes that have appeared before. It was the first time Chen Chenggen knew about it. In order to avoid returning to the first scene suddenly and not being able to find his way, he stayed in this scene until the end of Ross's forging. 6 hours later, Li Tianhai was not far away. Fortunately, Ross finally forged a great sword that looked majestic. The whole body of this great sword is silvery white, and the two sides of the sword are branded with earth magic runes and poisonous magic runes respectively, and the center of the sword grid is inlaid with evil spirit gems. At the same time, at the end of the hilt, there is a small statue in the shape of a wolf's head, which seems to store the soul of the poisonous Wolf King. For some reason, just looking at this great sword, Chen Chenggen felt like he was being targeted by a ferocious beast. There is good news and bad news. Ross picked up the big sword with a tired face, and walked in front of Chen Chenggen. The bad news is that although it was built successfully, this one is not perfect at all, lacking more advanced materials. So in the same quality, it can only be regarded as an inferior asset. If you can meet a better blacksmith in the future, maybe you can rework it and make it more perfect. But the good news is that you have successfully obtained a purple quality weapon. Ross laughed suddenly, raised the sword with both hands and handed it to Chen Chenggen. Hearing this, Chen Chenggen immediately took over the sword and checked the specific information. Wolf King Sword. Quality: purple. Equipment requirements: Strength 50, Constitution 50. Attack plus 200. Equipment effect: Wolf Soul Poison Shadow active summons the Wolf King's Soul Shadow made of poison, causing 2,000 points of poison damage, 2,000 points of evil spirit damage and a large-scale explosion damage of power 20 to enemies within the specified range. Consumes 300 mana and has a cooldown of 2 hours. Earth Renewal passive: when you are on the ground, you regenerate 20 health per second. Introduction. The power of three natures has made the birth of this King Sword, but it is a pity that it is not perfect. Hiss. Purple Great Sword. After Chen Chenggen read the information about Wolf King Sword, his face showed joy. The basic attribute of the Wolf King Sword is plus 200 attack power, which is several times higher than that of the Moonlight Great Sword. And it has an active effect and a passive effect. The active effect is the strongest attack method Chen Chenggen has seen so far. Not only does it have 2,000 poisonous damage and 2,000 evil spirit damage, but it also adds 20 times the large-scale explosion damage based on the power attribute. This is a combination of high output and high attack range. Even if the opponent's speed exceeds Chen Chenggen's, as long as the Wolf Soul Poison Shadow is activated, the super large range attack will force the opponent to be hit. In addition, the passive effect of the Wolf King Sword is also very powerful. As long as you stand on the ground, you will recover 20 HP per second. Based on Chen Chenggen's current physique, it is equivalent to recovering 4.5% of his maximum health every second. Listen to what you said just now, this weapon is only inferior in purple quality. Chen Chenggen was very satisfied with the Wolf King Sword, but when he thought of Ross's words, he was a little curious. That's right, leaving aside the white weapon, that thing can be crafted by anyone. But starting from the green weapon, it is necessary to give a magic brand, or through a scroll, to give a more advanced magic rune. Green and blue weapons, due to the material, have certain limitations, whether it is their own lethality or the power of magic. But the purple equipment is different. The strength of the material can endow multiple magics, and carry out energy reconciliation, triggering resonance, thus exerting the superpower of multiple superpositions. Your sword is the third purple weapon I have created. It's a pity that it lacks more advanced materials. If you can find suitable materials, you may make it even better. After speaking, Ross took out a lavender necklace. Originally, I was going to get you a boxing glove, but it took a lot of energy to create this weapon, so I can't do it for the time being. This thing, let's take it as compensation, but you still have to pay 500 soul coins. Seeing the necklace that Ross handed over, Chen Chenggen immediately took it. Trial of Soul. Effect. It can release the seal of the pendant, and summon an undead knight to fight with you. The four-dimensional attribute of the undead knight is always 100 points. After defeating the undead knight, you will get a lot of evil souls. Introduction. This necklace seems to seal something. Different from previous summoning props, this pendant summons an undead knight to fight Chen Chenggen. But as long as you defeat the undead knight, you can get a lot of evil souls. Seeing that a large number of evil souls could be obtained, Chen Chenggen put them away decisively and immediately questioned Ross. Do you still have this thing? I can buy it with soul coins. No more, I opened this in the devil's treasure chest. Okay, continue your journey, Dungeon Hunter, it's time for me to rest. Ross shook his head, then walked to a chair not far away to rest. Seeing this, Chen Chang'an had no choice but to give up. After leaving 500 soul coins, he was ready to go to the next scene. Guided by the map, he took Xuanwu and AKAs to the passage on the right. After passing through the dark passage, Chen Chang'an soon arrived at the 24th scene. Here, he saw a group of strange creatures. Their outfits look like primitive people, but each is 3 meters tall, with 4 eyes on their faces, and a pair of lavender octopus tentacles growing out of their backs. Crazy Believer. Combat Power Index, 30. Defense Index, 30. Introduction. Originally, it was a one-eyed monster stronger than goblins. After being exposed to the pollution of the evil god, it became mentally insane and its body mutated. It turned into a believer who worshipped the evil god. Weaknesses. Brain, tentacles. After reading the information given by the detection glasses, Chen Chang'an realized that this group of monsters turned out to be one-eyed monsters. Although he has never encountered a one-eyed monster, he has also seen general information from the chat area. A cyclops is a humanoid creature with only one large eye and is usually only about a meter tall. However, the one-eyed monster who originally lived in this scene, just came into contact with something polluted by evil gods, and turned into this ghostly appearance. Crack. After realizing the existence of Chen Chang'an, all the crazy believers rioted. As they rushed towards Chen Chang'an, they manipulated the tentacles on their backs, as if they were going to bind them up and sacrifice them to the evil god. Just to test the sword with you. Seeing the crazy believers rushing forward, Chen Chang'an held a sword with one hand, cutting off dozens of tentacles like cutting tofu. However, those tentacles that had been severed grew strangely again, like poisonous snakes, attacking Chen Chang'an from all directions. At this moment, the pitch-black underworld water began to surge from Chen Chang'an's feet, presenting a ring-shaped momentum, instantly bouncing off all the tentacles. The tentacles that came into contact with the dark water were struggling constantly, but soon became motionless, and all life was robbed on the spot. Although Xuanwu is not yet able to deal with extraordinary creatures such as the poisonous Wolf King, it is more than enough to deal with these monsters that have not stepped into the extraordinary realm. On the other side, when Ming Shui bounced off all the tentacles, Chen Chang'an turned into an afterimage and rushed into the mad believers. Shua. Under the slash of the Wolf King's sword, the incomparably tough mutant bodies of these believers were cut in half in an instant. If it is the Moonlight Greatsword, Chen Chang'an needs to use about 5 points of his strength to cut it off. But holding the Wolf King's sword, Chen Chang'an even felt that he didn't use much force, and he easily cut off the crazy believer's body. However, after being cut off, the believer's mutated body was divided into 2, and many tentacles appeared strangely. And each of these tentacles has a strange eyeball. However, facing the Wolf King's sword, no matter how many tentacles came, they were all cut off by the sword. It seems that these creatures polluted by evil gods are very difficult to deal with. Chen Chang'an swung his sword and cut off the heads of several believers, only to find that many tentacles were still growing on the opponent's body. However, compared to believers whose heads were cut off, the tentacles grown from their bodies became very rare. Forget it, it's still a second for one move. After Chen Chang'an beheaded dozens of crazy believers, he saw the tentacles growing continuously, almost reaching thousands. This made him feel sick for a while, and he couldn't help raising his left hand, releasing a wolf's soul roar. Roar. Under the roar of the wolf's soul, those tentacles struggled for a moment, before being completely shattered in the end. For a moment, the entire scene is almost full of disgusting fragments of muscle tissue. It was only after killing all the tentacles that Chen Chang'an saw the kill prompt appear. Kill crazy believers, get 25 soul coins, 25 evil souls. Kill crazy believers, get 25 soul coins, 25 evil souls. Kill crazy believers, get 25 soul coins, 25 evil souls. Comma. This wave of kills brought Chen Chang'an 500 soul coins and 500 evil souls. Counting the evil souls he saved before, he now has 710 evil souls. This made him immediately take out the deep magic bottle and put all the evil souls in it for refining. As for why it wasn't refined in the last scene. After all, the deep magic bottle is the only item of its kind. Even if Rhodes looks very kind, Chen Chang'an can't guarantee whether the other party will snatch it. Therefore, it is best not to show the deep demon bottle in front of outsiders. As for the eye of the evil god, Chen Chenggen estimated that not many people would dare to have it. The treasure chest hunters last time were all scared to pee and run away at the speed of light. After putting all the evil souls into the deep magic bottle, Chen Chenggen walked directly to the center of the scene. At this moment, a bronze box has fallen out of the center. Although it is not a silver box, judging from the comprehensive ability of the believers in the current scene, the rewards given by this bronze box should not be too bad. So Chen Chenggen opened the bronze box directly. The bronze box has been opened. Congratulations on getting the blood pill and the sword of evil eye. Seeing two small balls of light falling from the bronze box, Chen Chenggen immediately picked it up and checked the information. Blood pill. Effect. It can be used to activate the power of the bloodline to make extraordinary creatures grow faster. Introduction. Pets can become stronger again. Evil Eye Sword. Quality. Green Extreme. Equipment requirements. None. Attack plus 20. Equipment effect. Strange Touch active. Sacrifice 30 points of HP to release weird tentacles to attack multiple enemies, causing 200 points of pollution damage. The target attacked by the weird tentacles has a probability of being polluted and will die quickly in madness. The lower the target's spiritual attribute, the greater the trigger probability. No power consumption, no cooldown. Introduction. With the long sword contaminated by the power of the evil god, the user will gradually fall into madness. After reading the information about these two things, Chen Chenggen decisively threw the evil eye into the storage space. This thing has the same nature as the eye of the evil god. Although it is not as corrosive as the eye of the evil god, it is not a good thing. However, the evil eye sword does not require any equipment, so it can be hung on the auction interface. As for other people, will they fall into madness like the Cyclops in the process of using this weapon, and become believers of evil gods? This is not something that Chen Chenggen should manage. After all, the price has already been written into the information, and if you dare to use it, you must dare to accept the price. It's disgusting here, let's go to the next scene first. Chen Chenggen looked at the tentacle fragments all over the floor, and didn't want to stay here any longer. So he also put away the blood pill, and waited until the next scene to use it for Xuanwu. Soon, Chen Chenggen followed the guidance of the map and walked towards the passage directly ahead. After a while, he came to the 25th scene. The scene is surrounded by grey shiraishi bricks on all sides, but it is empty and empty. Is it a special scene? Chen Chenggen glanced around through the lights illuminated by more than a dozen wall lamps, and found that the passages in the other three directions were all opened. This shows that this is indeed a special scene. However, there are no stels or statues here, which puzzled Chen Chenggen. Master, please go to the center. AKAs on the side seemed to notice something, and immediately spoke. Although a little puzzled, Chen Chenggen walked to the center of the scene. The next moment, a ray of holy light suddenly fell slowly from the ceiling, and a stone tablet fell out. Chen Chenggen slowly approached the stele and began to check the contents on the stele. Same as the first scene, although he doesn't understand the words recorded on the stele, he can still decipher the meaning. Dear Dungeon Hunter, are you willing to accept the test of the Holy Light Lord? This test is to defeat the follower of the Holy Light Lord, the mirror incarnation of the Storm Lord Soka. The test of the Holy Light Lord will determine the difficulty according to the number of scenes you enter. Currently, the number of scenes you have entered is 25. The four-dimensional attribute of Soka mirror incarnation is always 100. Defeat Soka, you will get the exclusive title bestowed by the Lord of Light and rich rewards. After reading the information on the stele, Chen Chenggen knew what was going on. However, when he saw that the test of the Holy Light Lord was judged according to the number of layers of the individual advancement scene, he suddenly became a little silent. Chen Chenggen has only advanced to the 25th scene now, and the test he faces is to challenge a target whose four-dimensional attribute is 100. If it weren't for the deep magic bottle, let him accumulate a large number of four-dimensional attributes. Faced with this test, he turned around and left on the spot. This Holy Light Lord, do you have any misunderstandings about this layer judgment? Chen Chenggen couldn't help complaining. As for whether to accept the test, it must be accepted. But before that, Chen Chenggen was going to wait for the refining of the deep magic bottle to upgrade a wave of 4-dimensional attributes before coming to fight Sokka. So he directly set up a bonfire on the spot, preparing to refine a batch of potions. In addition, Chen Chenggen took out the blood pill and handed it to Xuanwu. Seeing the blood pill, Xuanwu showed eagerness and directly swallowed it into his stomach. The next moment, a layer of rock condensed on its body, as if it had been petrified. Hint: the Shuangsha black snake turtle has accumulated enough energy to enter a metamorphosis state. Seeing the prompt in front of him, Chen Chenggen felt relieved. Although Xuanwu's appetite is terrifying, it is accumulating energy and allowing the body to grow faster. Now with the assistance of the blood pill, and the accumulated energy has entered the saturation period, it will enter the first metamorphosis state. Afterwards, Chen Chenggen took out the dry pot and began to refine the potion. Fortunately, there are 2 water condensing orbs, so that he has enough pure water to use, otherwise the potion produced every day will be even less. After more than an hour, Chen Chenggen successfully refined 3000 milliliters weak healing potion. At the same time, the deep magic bottle was also successfully refined, with 71 soul crystals. Seeing that the deep magic bottle was refined, Chen Chenggen first put the weak healing potion into the storage space. Then he picked up 71 soul crystals and opened his personal information. Dungeon Hunter, Chen Chenggen. Health, 100%. Mana, 410 900ths. Strength, 90+. Constitution, 90+. Dexterity, 90+. Spirit, 90+. Soul coins, 2620. Evil soul, 0. After seeing his credit system interface, Chen Chenggen thought for a moment and began to add points in batches. This time he didn't plan to leave some soul crystals for AKAs to use. Because he didn't know whether that Storm Lord Sokka, apart from having 100 points in all 4-dimensional attributes, possessed some super powerful skills. Therefore, it is the safest way to use the soul crystallization to improve one's own strength. After a while, Chen Chenggen distributed all 71 soul crystals. Strength, 110 plus 20. Constitution, 107 plus 17. Agility, 107 plus 17. Spirit, 107 plus 17. After absorbing all the soul crystals, Chen Chenggen felt that all his power had improved a lot. But before Xuanwu completes his transformation, he is not going to fight Sokka. If an inadvertent mistake causes Xuanwu's transformation to fail, it will be a big loss. Although Xuanwu has not yet grown up, its potential is huge, and it will inevitably become an extraordinary creature in the strongest echelon in the future. Therefore, Chen Chenggen opened the trading interface, and hung up all 3000 milliliters of weak healing potions. However, he did not differentiate into multiple grades this time, and all of them are sold according to the 10 milliliters purchase limit. In this way, at least 300 people can buy it. Chat area, 6,971 people. Ha ha ha, Boss Chang'an has put another batch of medicine on the shelves, and I finally got it. This time there are 300 copies. He takes care of us poor people too much. He really makes me cry to death. It's not enough, please add another batch of medicine. By the way, the boss collected 2 new medicine materials before. Are you going to refine a new medicine? It should be like this, but it's a pity that none of us here can find Moxing Sao, otherwise we will know what new medicine the boss is going to refine. As a new batch of medicines were put on the trading market, the chat area became lively again. However, the number of people in our own area has dropped from the original 7,400 to less than 7,000. This shows that as they advance, they also begin to encounter slightly stronger monsters such as stone statues, titans, werewolves, etc. As other people frantically bought it, Chen Chenggen's potion, which had just been put on the shelves, was sold out at an alarming rate. Reminder: 3000 milliliters weak healing potion has been sold, and 690 evil souls and 3,910 soul coins have been obtained. After the sale, Chen Chenggen immediately received a large number of evil souls and soul coins. Seeing that Xuanwu's transformation had not yet been completed, he directly took out the deep magic bottle and stuffed all 690 evil souls into it. Immediately afterwards, Chen Chenggen opened the transaction interface again and drew up a transaction list. Seller, Chen Chenggen. Trading object, Sword of Evil Eye, see details. Requirement, passive props. Remarks, there will be a certain price for using this weapon. The higher the spiritual attribute, the lower the price. Reminder, this transaction can only be completed after the seller is satisfied. After drawing up, Chen Chenggen began to wait. Originally, he was going to throw it on the auction screen, but the price of the Evil Eye sword is not low. Even if someone really hopes to obtain an ultimate green weapon, they may not necessarily participate in the auction. After all, this weapon will bite the Lord. Chen Chenggen simply threw the Evil Eye sword into the ordinary trading market, only to exchange for passive items. Those props with passive nature, although the rarity and function, are far inferior to props with unique nature. But it is also more precious than active props. For example, the Pharmacist's Eye, the stone armor that provides 20% damage immunity, and the Devil's Contract that can resurrect and reincarnate, etc. It can be said that passive props are the strongest props under the only props. Therefore, the more such props, the better. However, Chen Chenggen does not intend to collect some passive items with rubbish effects. Therefore, the transaction he proposed requires the buyer to come up with props that satisfy him before the transaction can be concluded. He believes that among the more than 6,000 people, there must be many people. The initial 3 props are powerful passive props. At the same time, after Chen Chenggen hung out the Evil Eye sword, the entire chat area became lively again. All go, the ultimate green weapon. I haven't seen a green weapon until now. As expected of a boss, it's fierce. This equipment actually doesn't have any equipment requirements. Whoever has passive items, let's trade them. Wait, please read the boss's message first. This weapon has side effects. People with low spiritual attributes, it's best not to trade it. Hey, this weapon looks so familiar. I have an item that has similar effects to his with item information. Chen Chenggen originally wanted to observe everyone's reaction, but when he saw someone attaching an item information, he immediately checked it. Seeing this, his expression became a little astonished. Because this item is not only passive, but also related to the Eye of the Evil God. Evil God's Apostle. Effect. Every time the wearer loses 20% of the maximum health, he will release the touch of the Evil God, causing real damage equal to 10% of the target's maximum health to a random target. Introduction. One of the apostles of the Evil God in the world, people who have been in contact with him often lose their minds and go mad. Hint. Since you have the Evil God's Eye, the only one, you can view the hidden effects of the Evil God's Apostle. Hidden effect. When you are preparing to communicate with the Supreme Evil God, you can offset the cost of one sacrifice by sacrificing the Evil God's Apostle, and you will not be corrupted and polluted by the Evil God. After watching the effect of the Evil God's Apostle, Chen Chenggen suddenly felt moved. Because this thing can offset the price of a sacrifice with the Supreme Evil God. You know, if you want to get the reward from the Supreme Evil God, you have to sacrifice a single attribute, at least 100 attributes. More importantly, when attracting the gaze of the Supreme Evil God, the Apostle of the Evil God can offset the risk of being eroded and polluted. To put it simply, if the Apostle of the Evil God is sacrificed to the Supreme Evil God as a sacrifice, then Chen Chenggen can prostitute Zhonglu for nothing, and he will be in a very safe state. If you can get this thing, you can sacrifice it to the Supreme Evil God. Thinking of the effect of the Evil God's Eye, as long as the sacrifice is successful, you can get a random Evil God item or Evil God equipment. Chen Chenggen is a little moved. Among them, the equipment of the Evil Gods must be of gold quality at least. Although Chen Chenggen got the Wolf King sword of purple quality now, this weapon is not perfect, it can even be said to be the lowest level of purple weapon. But even so, the ability of the Wolf King sword is very powerful. It is not difficult to imagine that if the Supreme Evil God bestows equipment on the Evil God, its effect will definitely be more than 10 times that of the Wolf King sword. No, things related to evil gods are not good things. Thinking of the effect of the Evil Eye sword, Chen Chenggen quickly calmed down. But towards the Evil God's Apostle, he also maintains the attitude of getting it if he can get it, and forgetting if he can't get it. Anyway, if he got something related to the Evil God, he would have to trade it out sooner or later, and it was impossible to keep it for his own use. This is the case even if it is obtaining golden quality evil god equipment. After all, with the deep magic bottle, it can continue to become stronger. Chen Chang'an does not need to rely on the power of evil gods at all. At this moment, the chat area is still hot. What a prop, I'm suddenly a little curious, buddy, how are you doing now? That's it, it's half dead, I feel like some kind of creature is twisting in the palm of my hand. Worry, brother, you are showing that your sand value is crazy. Suddenly I don't want to change the sword of the evil eye. I would rather die than become an irrational monster. Not necessarily, that brother's item is passive, as long as it is triggered, it will lose sand value. Perhaps the evil eye sword will be fine as long as it is not used frequently. The upstairs is good, why don't you try it? Forget it, my passive item can add a shield, so I don't need the evil eye sword. Seeing the person who held the apostle of the evil god, his body began to mutate as if he had come into contact with an indescribable restraining deity. Many people retreated from the evil eye sword. But there are also some people who choose to take the slant of the sword and plan to trade the sword of the evil eye. Although this weapon has side effects, as long as it is not used for a long time, it will be fine. Let's get through the immediate juncture first. It's a pity that Chen Chang'an looked down on the props they provided. For example, the slime crown, every time you enter a new scene, it will automatically summon a slime. What use is this thing to him? As for other passive props, although they have different effects, they are the same as the slime crown, and they have no effect on Chen Chang'an. Just when he was about to cancel the transaction order, the person who had appeared in the chat area took out the apostle of the evil god and made a transaction with him. Seeing this, Chen Chang'an decisively agreed. In fact, it is understandable that the other party is willing to exchange it. First of all, the apostle of the evil god can only be activated after the wearer loses the maximum life value. Secondly, the evil god's touch it summons is of course a percentage of real damage, but it only hits once. This is not as good as the sword of the evil eye. So the other party also looked away. Since they will all be polluted, it is better to choose the more powerful evil eye sword under the current situation. After the transaction, an eyeball the size of a dragon's eye appeared in Chen Chang'an's hand. Like the eye of the evil god, it was wrapped in lavender skin. Although with this thing, you can safely contact the supreme evil god, but it's best to wait until the spiritual attribute has improved a wave before making sacrifices. Chen Chang'an thought so, and threw the apostle of the evil god into the storage space. At the same time, Xuanwu, which had been in a state of metamorphosis, suddenly cracked the rock layer on the surface. At the same time, its body gradually changed from the size of a small dog to the size of an adult tiger. Chapter 51. Shuangsha Black Snake Turtle. Health, 100%. Mana, 800/800. Strength, 60. Constitution, 150. Dexterity, 35. Spirit, 80. Abilities, Sha Poison, Dark Water. After completing the transformation, although Xuanwu did not master new abilities, but its 4-dimensional attribute improvement is simply off the charts. This is no longer a surge that can be described, it is completely cheating. Roar. After the metamorphosis, Xuanwu's body was about the size of an adult tiger, and the tortoise shell on his body became extremely thick. Even the black snake behind him was 30 centimeters thick, with white scales, flashing a cold light. At this moment, it let out a dull growl, and walked in front of Chen Chang'an with a happy face. Your growth rate is too fast. After Chen Chang'an read Xuanwu's message, his expression showed a touch of surprise. As one of the most ferocious top ancient behemoths, the growth of Xuanwu must be different from ordinary creatures. But Chen Chang'an did not expect that the other party would have such a huge change just for the first time. Since your physique is as high as 150 points, maybe we can sign a contract. Seeing Xuanwu's happy look, Chen Chang'an patted its head, and took out a soul contract from the storage space. The soul contract allows him to have a deeper bond with Xuanwu. Once he is attacked by the enemy, part of the damage he suffers will be distributed to Xuanwu. The reason why Chen Chang'an did not sign a contract with Xuanwu before was because it was still young at the time, and its 4-dimensional attributes were also very low. But it's different now. With only 150 physical attributes, Xuanwu is very resistant to beatings, and helping Chen Chenggen share some damage is completely a small problem. After a while, both Chen Chenggen and Xuanwu pressed their fingerprints on the soul contract. In an instant, the handprint turned into light blue light, with the soul contract as the core, extending 2 blue light rays, linking Chen Chenggen and Xuanwu. After the link was completed, the light gradually disappeared, and the soul contract returned to the appearance of the parchment. However, Chen Chenggen could feel that there was a strange resonance between himself and Xuanwu, as if all the injuries he suffered could be transferred instantly. Of course, if he wanted to, he could also refuse to transfer the damage to Xuanwu. Okay, the next step is to challenge the followers of the Holy Light Lord. Akash, you'd better go back to the iron sheet and hide for a while. After putting away the soul contract, Chen Chenggen took out the iron plate that could store the spirit body of AKAs, and let the other party enter it. Soka, who is a follower of the Lord of Light and has the name of Lord of Storms, must not be a simple existence. Chen Chenggen was also worried that the battle with the opponent would affect AKAs. Even though AKAs is only a spirit body at the soul level, who knows if Soka's ability will affect her. After finishing everything, Chen Chenggen walked up to the steel and pressed it lightly. Suddenly, the whole scene trembled. The 4 channels that were originally opened were instantly blocked. The stone tablet at the center of the scene also turned into a dazzling golden mirror. In the mirror, there seemed to be some kind of terrifying existence, which made Chen Chenggen feel a heavy sense of oppression. Catch. After the mirror was shattered, a stern middle-aged man with a height of 3 meters and a height of 3 meters walked out slowly. Opening square bracket ? Combat Power Index, 70. Defense Index, 70. Introduction, comma. The moment he saw Soka, the detection glasses gave a hint. However, it seems that Soka's information is too advanced. Or the detection glasses cannot collect the information of the strong with an index of 70. So the information interface that appeared in front of Chen Chenggen was very incomplete. Less than a second after Soka appeared, a strong gust of wind filled the entire scene. If it weren't for the 4-dimensional attributes breaking 100, Chen Chenggen would have been blown away. As for Xuanwu, its physical attributes as high as 150 not only brought it strong vitality and defense. It also made its body extremely heavy. Therefore, Xuanwu was not affected in the slightest. Seeing that the strong wind didn't work, the halberd in Soka's hand circled a circle of rapidly rotating storm, and burst out at an extremely fast speed, rushing towards Chen Chenggen. The shadow shield was instantly activated, and at the same time, Chen Chenggen was also broken. In an instant, the power of highly poisonous magic runes and evil spirit gems emerged from the Wolf King sword, and instantly appeared on the wolf head statue at the end of the sword. The wolf head statue erupted with a brutal and ferocious aura. In the next instant, countless dark green rays of light erupted from behind Chen Chenggen, forming a phantom of a giant wolf 10 meters high. Roar! The phantom of the giant wolf let out a roar, and rushed towards Soka suddenly. With a bang, a shocking explosion broke out in the whole scene, and the whole ground continued to roar like an earthquake. For a moment, the violent hurricane also stopped at this time, and the place where Soka was located was instantly covered by countless gunpowder smoke. Although it was obscured by gunpowder smoke. But Chen Chenggen seemed to be able to sense it, and realized that Soka was seriously injured at the moment, but he was not killed. So he decisively raised his left hand, and the wolf's soul imprint began to shine. And in front of him, there was also a rock spear condensed. Taking advantage of his illness and killing him, the 2 major skills continued to greet Soka. The roar of the wolf's soul broke out first, blowing away the gunpowder smoke like a gust of wind, and hitting Soka, whose armor was severely broken. The next moment, the rock gun is coming. Although Soka swung his halberd subconsciously, abruptly intercepting the incoming rock spear. But the rock spear burst suddenly, and countless sharp ridges penetrated into Soka's body along the cracks in the broken armor. It's not over yet. Chen Chenggen on the other side, the steam boots under his feet, ejected a lot of steam. As he rushed forward at a high speed, he directly kicked Soka's chest. With a bang, the superpower made Soka unable to stop flying upside down, hitting the stone wall behind him, and cracked a huge mark in the shape of big. However, after suffering so much damage, Soka was still not killed. Seeing this, Chen Chenggen took out the Moonlight Greatsword from the storage space, and swiped out the flame slash at close range. With a bang, raging fire instantly covered Sokka's whole body. But in the next second, a gust of wind erupted from Sokka's body, extinguishing all the flames. Like a field of wind, a shield formed by the strong wind appeared around Sokka. At the same time, the halberd in his hand was wrapped in an emerald green gust, turning into a storm gun spinning extremely fast. Just when Sokka was about to throw the storm gun, Chen Chenggen turned into a liquid-like shadow and disappeared. If Sokka is conscious, he must know how to deal with it. But he is just a mirror image now. When he found out that Chen Chenggen had disappeared, he locked the storm gun to Xuanwu's position and was ready to throw it. At this moment, Chen Chenggen suddenly appeared from behind Sokka. The Wolf King sword surrounded by pitch-black energy pierced through Sokka's heart in an instant. Crack, crack. After the crisp sound paused for a moment, it shattered instantly. Sokka's body was fragmented like a mirror, and finally turned into a faint fluorescent light and disappeared. Dear Dungeon Hunter, congratulations on successfully passing the test of the Holy Light Lord. Next, please receive your reward. 2 prompts appeared before Chen Chenggen's eyes. The next moment, 3 stone pillars fell from the center of the scene. On each stone pillar, there is a small light cluster. Chen Chenggen first checked Xuanwu's situation, and found that the other party was fine, so he walked to the center of the scene. He first took away the small light cluster on the middle stone pillar, and soon a special medal appeared in his hand. Pioneer of Light title. Effect. Treasure chest rewards are increased by 20% except for demon treasure chests, and the probability of obtaining unique items is increased to 1%. Introduction. Those who pass the test of the Lord of the Holy Light are endowed with extreme approval, and carry a certain kind of luck in the dark. After reading this message, Chen Chenggen was dumbfounded. This is the first time he has received a title reward, and the effect of this title is huge. Except for the Devil Treasure Chest, the rewards of other treasure chests have been increased by 20%. From a long-term perspective, such benefits are simply exaggerated to the point of ridiculous. But more importantly, the probability of obtaining unique props has increased to 1%. According to the original rules, the probability of obtaining unique props is only 0.001%. However, with the title of Bright Pioneer, the probability of obtaining it has directly increased by 1,000 times, reaching 1%. There is no doubt that this wave of challenges, even if only the title of Holy Light Pioneer, is blood-earned. After putting away the title, Chen Chenggen took it away directly, leaving the small light clusters on the 2 stone pillars. Scroll of Hurricane Power. Effect. A one-time enchantment can be applied to the weapon, so that it can obtain additional equipment effects related to the characteristics of the hurricane. Summary. May the hurricane calm the sky and the sun come again. Alien Tactical Glasses. Quality. Blue Extreme. Equipment requirements. Spirit 50. Insight plus 50. Equipment effect. Tactical Insight passive. A red halo representing absolute weakness will appear on the target you are looking at, which can cause a lot of damage after hitting. Information Detection passive. It can detect the combat power and information of most dungeon monsters and extraordinary creatures. Introduction. Technological tactical glasses from another world, which can instantly analyze the information and weaknesses of all targets. Seeing that one of the items was a scroll of hurricane force, Chen Chenggen put it away directly. It's a pity that this thing didn't appear earlier, otherwise it could be integrated into the Wolf King sword to make it even more powerful. However, Chen Chenggen was surprised by the alien tactical glasses. It happened that the green quality detection glasses couldn't keep up with his footsteps. It is naturally a good thing to have extraterrestrial tactical glasses of extreme blue quality as a substitute. Moreover, in addition to detecting monster information, this piece of equipment can also gain insight into the location of the absolute weakness of the target. Although most of the time, the detection glasses will detect the weakness of the monster. But in comparison, the alien tactical glasses are more convenient. As long as there is a red halo on the target, just follow it and you're done. So Chen Chenggen immediately took off the detection glasses and put on the alien tactical glasses with sci-fi style. I thought that only extraordinary magic would appear here. I didn't expect that even something with a sci-fi color appeared. I don't know if there will be cannons, nuclear weapons, etc. in the future. After getting used to the alien tactical glasses, Chen Chenggen suddenly looked forward to it. If those things really appeared, it might be easier to deal with dungeon monsters in the future. After all, although magic is strong, technological weapons are also powerful. The night is coming. It wasn't long before Chen Chenggen passed the test of the Holy Light Lord. As night fell quietly, the visibility of the scene dropped rapidly and became a little dim. Seeing this, Chen Chenggen is going to rest for one night before going to the next scene. So he set up a bonfire and started grilling meat. During this period, Chen Chenggen was thinking about whether to trade the Moonlight Greatsword and detection glasses. The detection glasses are nothing, but the Moonlight Greatsword was enchanted by him with the power of Fire Scroll before. Among them, Raging Flame Slash, although not as effective as the Wolf Soul Poison Shadow of the Wolf King Sword, is still very lethal. Forget it, let's keep the Moonlight Greatsword for now, and the detection glasses can be traded away. Chen Chenggen thought for a moment, and quickly made a decision. As for how to trade the detection glasses, it must be thrown at the auction. The previous Sword of the Evil Eye was a special case. Even if it was thrown on the auction interface, it might not be able to earn a considerable amount of evil souls. But the detection glasses are different. It can detect monster information in advance, which is of great help to the battle. The value of equipment with negative effects will definitely be discounted, but if it only has positive effects, it must be very popular. So Chen Chenggen immediately set up an auction. Seller: Chen Chenggen. Auction item: detecting glasses, see details. Starting price: 100 evil souls. Minimum transaction price: 400 evil souls. Time limit: 60 minutes. After the drafting was completed, as Chen Chenggen expected, the chat area exploded again. Detection glasses. This is the detection technique I most want. I'll go. The boss actually even took out this kind of thing. Could it be that he already has blue equipment? Nonsense. If there were no more advanced substitutes, how could such a good thing be sold? MD, look at it like this, the boss must have been challenging difficult scenes all the time, right? It doesn't matter if you can challenge the difficult scene, the key is that the speed of advancement is still very fast. After catching up with Edward, who is in second place, he has only reached the 24th scene. I seriously doubt that the boss has a unique item in his hand. I think so too. Although I don't know how powerful the unique property is, judging from the performance of Chang'an boss, it is definitely very powerful. Buy a lot of evil souls, I have some items here that can be traded, come quickly. In addition to the lively chat area, there were also people bidding on the auction interface, and the price began to rise slowly. Due to the time limit of this auction, there is a full hour. Therefore, many people are trading with other people, preparing to gather a sufficient number of evil souls to carry out a wave of counter-killing at the last moment. After an hour passed, Chen Chenggen had just fed Xuanwu, when a reminder appeared in front of him. Hint: the detection glasses auction is successful, and you get 800 evil souls. Seeing the final transaction price, there are a full 800 evil souls. Even Chen Chenggen was surprised. You know, he bought it from a goblin merchant with 60 soul coins. The reason for the current situation is that the vast majority of people have never encountered such special characters as goblin merchants. But that's good too, otherwise Chen Chenggen wouldn't be able to use the detection glasses and fetch such a high price at the auction. Then Chen Chenggen took out the deep magic bottle. After waiting for a while, all the evil souls stuffed into the deep magic bottle were successfully refined. After a while, 69 soul crystals were obtained. Chen Chenggen directly put the newly obtained 800 evil souls into the deep magic bottle and let them continue to refine. Then began a new round of adding points. Dungeon Hunter, Chen Chenggen. Title: Herald of Light. Health: 100%. Mana: 235 1070ths. Strength: 110 plus. Physique: 107 plus. Dexterity: 107 plus. Spirit: 107 plus. Soul coins: 6,530. Evil soul: 0. Looking at his personal information, Chen Chenggen quickly chose to add points in batches. In order to deal with Sokka smoothly before, he deliberately added 3 more points to the strength attribute. Now, it can continue to develop in a balanced manner. Strength: 135 plus 15. Constitution, 135 plus 18. Agility, 135 plus 18. Spirit, 135 plus 18. As the soul crystals were completely absorbed by Chen Chang'an, he could feel the strength of his body, which was greatly improved again. After adding points, Chen Chang'an began to think about what to do next. According to the guide of the treasure map, his next scene is the scene corresponding to the gold box. He asked AKAs during the auction, and the other party's answer was that in the dark environment, there is a 70% chance of dying in battle. So Chen Chang'an decided to wait until daytime before moving on to the next scene. At least there is no 50% increase in combat power in the dark environment, plus the 80 soul crystals that are still being refined in the deep magic bottle. As long as he waited until daytime, the monsters in the next scene would definitely not be able to stop him. Beyond that, Chen Chang'an has two other things to attend to. They are the trial of the soul and the eye of the evil god. Although it is now a dark night environment, the four-dimensional attributes of the undead knights deposited in the trial of the soul are constant at 100 points. Therefore, even if Chen Chang'an summons it, the opponent will not be affected by the night environment, and its strength will increase by 50%. As for the eye of the evil god, Chen Chang'an thought for a moment. I still decided to wait until the undead knights were challenged, and then refine a wave of evil souls, increase the spiritual attributes, and then face the supreme evil god. After all, this is currently the only known existence that can ignore the influence of dungeon rules. And it seems that it is among the evil gods, and it belongs to the top existence. So no matter how careful Chen Chang'an is, he can't be too careful. Soon, Chen Chang'an crushed the pendant in his hand, and a jet of black gas full of dead energy suddenly shot out. Not long after, the black gas condensed into an undead knight riding a skeleton warhorse. Undead Knight. Combat power, 70. Defense, 70. Introduction. The strong among the undead is the most satisfactory cavalry charge of the undead emperor. He has powerful combat capabilities and can use undead magic and fire magic. Just when the tactical glasses gave the information of the undead knight, Chen Chang'an saw 7 red halos from the opponent. Among them, 2 red halos are on the skeleton horse, and the remaining 5 red halos are on different parts of the undead knight. Boom! Chen Chang'an stepped on the gravel floor and turned into an afterimage, appearing in front of the undead knight in an instant. Just as the opponent was about to swing the spear in his hand, Chen Chang'an took the lead in attacking 3 absolute weaknesses. That's right, after the 4-dimensional attribute is raised to the level of Chen Chang'an, 3 swords in 1 second can completely do it. With a bang, after being hit by Chen Chang'an's 3 powerful slashes. Although the undead knight didn't feel any pain, many heel bones were broken in its body, which made it stop suddenly when it wanted to attack. It was at this very moment that Chen Chang'an swung his sword, and the sword hit the undead knight's absolute weakness. From the beginning to the end of the battle, in less than 5 seconds, the undead knight and its skeleton warhorse were brutally beaten to pieces by Chen Chang'an. This may seem outrageous, but it is actually quite normal. After all, Chen Chang'an's 4-dimensional attribute is more than a little bit higher than that of the undead knight. Kill the undead knight and get 1,000 evil souls. Chen Chang'an was surprised when he saw the kill prompt appear. Although I know that killing the undead knight can get a lot of evil souls. But he really didn't expect that he could get 1,000 evil souls for 1 kill. It's a pity that the deep magic bottle is still being refined, so it will take a while before it can be put into refining. So Chen Chang'an sat next to the hunter's tent, waiting and brushing the chat area. Needless to say, when you are bored, the Shuibo chat area is also quite good. At the very least, Chen Chang'an can discover some things that he has never been exposed to. For example, someone encountered an iron mine in the scene and could collect a lot of iron ore from it. Originally, Chen Chang'an thought that even if someone got the iron ore, before meeting the blacksmith, the iron ore would be as worthless as waste rock. But I didn't expect that there was a blacksmith enthusiast in his own area, and under his forging, he made a lot of iron tools. Although those things are not weapons, they can still provide some help to most people. Chen Chang'an paid attention to it for a moment, then stopped paying attention. If he acquires the blacksmith's forging skill, he may acquire a wave of iron ore. However, He is now a pharmacist, so naturally he doesn't need to pay attention to the iron ore. Even if he really got the forging skill in the future, Chen Chenggen might not learn it. After all, he mainly focuses on his own strengthening and exploring scenes, supplemented by alchemy. Another blacksmith profession will only cost him more time, and compared to the benefits, it is a bit outweighed. After viewing the chat area of his own party, Chen Chenggen went to the world chat area and found that there was still a lot of abuse. However, unlike the previous confrontation with Edward, it has returned to the original hostility between the two sides. It seems that the lighthouse country has united. In addition, Chen Chenggen also saw a message. Edward seems to have found a certain map that can avoid some dangerous places in a certain area. After seeing this message, Chen Chenggen couldn't help opening his personal list. It turned out that Edward, like him, had already reached the 25th scene. But Chen Chenggen is not in a hurry. If it wasn't for seeing earlier, what exactly are the treasures of the ruins Lord? He can completely follow the green route on the map and advance the scene at the speed of light. And when he saw the 3 routes appearing on the treasure map, Chen Chenggen remembered them all in his mind. In other words, after taking the treasures of the Relic Lord, he can completely walk the green route in reverse and speed through at least 20 scenes in one day. As the night fell, 4 hours later, counting the 800 evil souls that were originally being refined. In addition, Chen Chenggen got 1000 evil souls from killing the undead knight. This allowed the deep magic bottle to refine a total of 180 soul crystals. This is the first time Chen Chenggen has experienced such a large quantity. This made him immediately add points in batches, all on the 4-dimensional attributes. But this time, Chen Chenggen bet more on spiritual attributes. This is the gaze of facing the supreme evil god after preparation and other attributes have been improved. Strength, 175 plus 40. Constitution, 175 plus 40. Agility, 175 plus 40. Spirit, 200 plus 60. Due to too much soul crystallization, even if he added points in batches, it took Chen Chenggen an hour to complete the upgrade. When his spiritual attribute breaks through to 200, he always felt that the brain seemed to unlock some ability. As this, a perception similar to the mind's eye. Chen Chenggen closed his eyes, and could vaguely perceive all objects in the surrounding scene. It was a little rusty at first, but as he practiced, his perception became clearer. Not only can he see the bonfire and the figure of Xuanwu, you can even see how the dust floating in the air is moving slowly. And Chen Chenggen found that when using this perception ability, the movement speed of those objects becomes a bit slower. This should be the performance of high insight. In addition, he can also feel that his reaction power seems to have increased. Although the increase is not large, he can keenly detect this change. Reminder: congratulations on comprehending the skill of spiritual intuition. After practicing for almost half an hour, Chen Chenggen opened his eyes and found a prompt appeared in front of him. It seems that relying on my own comprehension, I don't need a skill book to master skills. For this change, Chen Chenggen was a little surprised. Then he opened the skill interface, and quickly found the location of his intuition. Intuition. Quality. Purple. Effect. Perceive the movement of all objects within 10 meters, and increase insight plus 10% and reaction plus 10%. Required to level up. 200 evil souls. Purple skill. Chen Chenggen looked a little surprised. But thinking about it carefully, it seems quite normal. After all, he has an intuition in his heart, but he didn't realize it until his spiritual attribute broke through to 200. And this skill, whether it is for exploration or combat, is of great help. Especially the improvement of insight and reaction. In the battle, all the enemy's movements will be slowed down, which gives him the opportunity to counter faster. It's a pity that spiritual intuition is only the initial form, and the improvement of insight and reaction is only 10%. But if you want to upgrade the level of this skill, you need to spend 200 evil souls for each level, which is extremely expensive. It can only be improved in the future, but fortunately it is a passive skill, otherwise the mana value may not be enough. Chen Chenggen quickly closed the skill interface. Then he asked AKAs to return to the iron sheet, and threw the iron sheet directly into the storage space. Then let Xuanwu hide away, and warned the other party not to make any noise. After finishing all this, Chen Chang'an took out a wooden barrel from the storage space with a dignified expression. Well, it's the wooden barrel that seals the eye of the evil god. After taking the evil god's eye the size of a dragon fruit out of the barrel. Although Chen Chang'an could feel a little discomfort, compared to the last time, the mental pollution he suffered this time can be almost ignored. This shows that after the spiritual attribute reaches 200 points, it can ignore the pollution ability emitted passively by the evil eye. Immediately afterwards, Chen Chang'an took out the apostle of the evil god. Compared with the eye of the evil god, this thing is simply the grandson of grandsons, and its pollution ability cannot affect Chen Chang'an at all. Of course, this is just the feeling when touching. Whether it is the eye of the evil god or the apostle of the evil god, only when the effect is triggered will the spiritual pollution ability be amplified. Soon, Chen Chang'an began to activate the evil eye. In an instant, the closed eyes suddenly widened. It was an indescribable eye pupil, like an endless abyss, and twinkling like stars in the universe. Catch, as if something was broken. In the whole scene, the temperature dropped below zero in an instant, and a strange and terrifying atmosphere gradually emerged. Chen Chang'an closed his eyes, and did not activate his telepathic intuition ability to perceive the changes in the surrounding scenes. He just raised his hand and sacrificed the evil god's apostle to the supreme evil god. After a while, he felt a sticky tentacle touching his hand. But it seemed to be attracted by the apostle of the evil god, and the tentacle turned to take the apostle of the evil god. If there were no evil god's apostles, Chen Chang'an would have had 100 attributes taken away the moment he was touched by that tentacle. The next moment, Chen Chang'an felt that a scroll appeared in his hand. Immediately afterwards, the terrifying and insane atmosphere gradually disappeared, and the temperature in the air also returned to normal. Only then did Chen Chang'an open his eyes, only to find that the four surrounding stone and brick walls had been cracked into mud walls. Moreover, the spatial scope of the entire scene was forced to double, and there were still many fragments of stone bricks and powder scattered around the edges. You must know that the space of each dungeon scene is almost fixed. Even if the walls crack, it won't expand the space. However, just attracting the gaze of the supreme evil god, the scene collapsed into this appearance, completely ignoring the influence of the dungeon rules. Fortunately, after sacrificing the apostle of the evil god to the supreme evil god, the greater risk can be offset. So Chen Chang'an, as well as Xuanwu hiding in the distance, are safe and sound. Then Chen Chang'an looked at the scroll in his hand. This is a sheepskin scroll that looks very old, but for some reason, there is an ominous atmosphere flowing above it. Reminder: congratulations on obtaining the indescribable scroll, the only one. Unnameable scroll unique. Effect: the scroll records countless knowledge, whether it is the cultivation system or legendary skills, you can learn it here, provided that the spiritual attribute is high enough. Introduction: the crazy scroll often makes learners become indescribable monsters the moment they come into contact with knowledge. Looking at the information on the scroll in his hand, Chen Chang'an suddenly fell silent. This is the third unique item he obtained. Although it looks milder on the surface, it doesn't have the ability to pollute the mind like the eye of the evil god. But as long as you open this scroll and get in touch with the knowledge on it, bad things will definitely happen. Forget it, I already have the eye of the evil god anyway, so it's okay to have an unknown scroll. Chen Chang'an immediately put the indescribable scroll into the storage space. Although this thing is more underworld, but as long as the spiritual attribute is strong enough, it can resist spiritual pollution. Then Chen Chang'an can learn some skills from the scroll. Among them, there are even legendary skills. Above purple is gold, above gold is legend. Legendary quality skills, you will know that they are extraordinary when you hear them. However, Chen Chang'an didn't think that, with a mental attribute of 200 points, he would be safe and sound after opening this scroll. So he decided to wait and try again. Then Chen Chang'an found a relatively complete open space and reset up the hunter's tent and bonfire. Seeing this, Xuanwu immediately ran over. It's just that its expression still looks a little scared. The existence of the supreme evil god is really a nightmare for it who was born not long ago. However, when Chen Chang'an took out the wolf king meat, the fear on his face disappeared, and he began to eat happily. Seeing this, Chen Chang'an smiled, then lay down on the cushion and began to rest. The day is coming. After the night receded, the visibility of the scene returned to normal. After Chen Chenggen woke up, he took out a handful of water to wash his face, and then realized that the scene was beyond riddled with holes. Even the ceiling was cracked, leaving only the soil layer. If it is not in the dungeon world, but in the earth. The influence brought by the gaze of the supreme evil god is almost shattering. After waking up and having breakfast, Chen Chenggen opened the chat area and found that there were still many people chatting in the water channel. But their topic is a little different from before. Chat area, 5,411 people. What happened last night? Almost 1,000 people died. It's over, shouldn't we lose? Don't panic, I took a look at the situation, and almost 1,000 people died in the lighthouse country. So they were all backstabbed by the dungeon monster last night. I don't know, I didn't meet any monsters last night. I have encountered it before, but it was just a few goblins, and I easily killed them. So last night, on both sides, many people encountered super powerful monsters. Who knows? Seeing this topic, Chen Chenggen couldn't help but frown. Thousands of people died in one night, which was almost as fast as the first night. I don't know, but when the supreme evil god descends, it affects other people. Still last night, many monsters invaded wildly, causing thousands of people to die in both the friendly area and the enemy area. Then Chen Chenggen opened the regional list. Regional list. Area 10,086 total scene layers, 75,411. Area 55,224 total scene layers, 71,011. Fortunately, at least the regional rankings are stable. Seeing that his own area is still far ahead, Chen Chenggen is relieved. But when he saw that both sides advanced to more than 70,000 scenes, he suddenly became a little confused. The Goblin merchant once said that there are probably more than 100,000 scenes in the dungeon world. Based on 10,000 people in each area, plus a 5-digit number. In the dungeon world, it is absolutely impossible to have only 100,000 scenes. It is normal to use billions as the unit. Unless, the scene he refers to is for everyone. Thinking of this, Chen Chenggen looked a little complicated. Speaking of which, after such a long time, no one has encountered other dungeon hunters. This further shows that the 100,000 scenes do not refer to the whole, but to individuals. Forget it, don't think too much. Anyway, as long as the strength reaches a certain level, you can leave the dungeon world. Thinking of this, Chen Chenggen took Xuanwu and AKA's released from the iron sheet to the scene directly ahead. After a while, he brought the 26th scene, which was also the treasure map of the distance ruins, and the last scene. This place looks similar to the previous scene, except that there are many white bones on the ground. At the same time, in the center of the scene, there is a humanoid creature with purple skin, wings on its back, and horns on its head, sitting on a stone throne. Low-level demon Mikas. Combat Power Index, 72. Defense Index, 60. Introduction. A low-level demon from the demon world, who has mastered the unique hellfire and demon power of the demon family, and possesses powerful combat capabilities. There are humans who have come to my site. Seeing Chen Chenggen walking in, the demon Mikas immediately opened his eyes, flapping his wings and hovering in midair. In an instant, a powerful and evil sense of oppression rushed over. Human beings, become my food. Mikas hadn't finished speaking, and a terrified expression suddenly appeared on his face. And his purple-red flame burned on his body, wrapping himself up. On the other side, behind Chen Chenggen appeared a phantom of a gigantic giant wolf. Just as Mikas released the flames of hell, the phantom of the giant wolf smashed past like a meteor. Boom! The powerful explosion immediately set off a gust of wind, and the smoke gradually spread. When Chen Chenggen saw Mikas for the first time, he didn't see the red halo representing absolute weakness. This shows that the demon race, even if it is only a low-level demon, has a powerful advantage over other life races. Therefore, adhering to the principle of creating weaknesses if there are no weaknesses, Chen Chenggen will deal a wave of damage first if the result is too big. Seeing the smoke rising, Chen Chenggen approached slowly. Suddenly he turned his face sideways, and a spear made of hell flames flew by his side and penetrated into the wall behind him. Although the gunpowder smoke blocked Chen Chenggen's vision, But with the ability of spiritual intuition, he can easily see all the attack methods of Mikas. Wait until Mikas enters Chen Chenggen's perception range. He quickly condensed a rock spear, locked the opponent's position, and smashed it directly. At the same time, Chen Chenggen's figure turned into a liquid shadow and disappeared quietly. With a bang, the rock gun hit Mikas in the smoke. And countless sharp prisms burst out, leaving dense wounds on his demon body. Etc. Just as Mikas was about to speak, Chen Chenggen, who quietly appeared behind him, decisively swung the Wolf King's sword lingering in the dark energy. With a swipe, Mikas was cut in half directly. Kill the low-level demon Mikas, get 100 soul coins, 100 evil souls, and low-level demon blood. Seeing the kill prompt appear, Chen Chenggen relaxed his vigilance a bit. Although I don't know what the other party wants to say just now, it is the safest way to kill him. After the gunpowder smoke dissipated, the body of Mikas, who was split in half and covered with scars, was soon revealed. Chen Chenggen saw 3 small light clusters appear beside the opponent's body. He picks up the soul coin and the wicked soul first, before picking up the third reward. Low-level demon bloodline. Effect. After drinking it, it can be transformed into a low-level demon, and its 4-dimensional attributes are increased to between 40 and 60. At the same time, it can master the exclusive skills of the demon family such as Hell Flame and Demon Power. Introduction. The demon family is one of the 4 top races in the Void. Even the lowest level bloodlines have power far surpassing most of the extraordinary life races. Demon blood. Chen Chenggen felt a little surprised when he saw the transparent bottle containing the low-level demon blood in his hand. It can only be said that it is worthy of the blood of the devil. Even low-level bloodlines can allow ordinary people to have 4-dimensional attributes 10 times higher than normal humans. In fact, the improvement of the 4-dimensional attribute is secondary, and the exclusive skills of the demon family are the most valuable existence. Although Chen Chenggen didn't give Mikas a chance to breathe in the battle just now. But the hell flame released by the opponent just now, in his perception, is also a very dangerous existence. So reincarnated as a low-level demon blood, with the improvement of 4-dimensional attributes, plus the exclusive skills of the demon family. The combat power will definitely be greatly improved, and it can even compete with weaker extraordinary creatures like the poisonous Wolf King. Of course, this is only for others. In Chen Chenggen's view, this thing has no effect on him at all. A low-level bloodline means that it is easy to be ruled by a higher-level demon bloodline. Therefore, the seemingly incomparably precious low-level demon bloodline actually has quite a few flaws. However, it is difficult to earn a lot of profit if it is thrown into the trading market now. Let's wait until the hegemony is over, maybe other people will have the wealth to satisfy me. Chen Chenggen thought for a moment, and directly threw the low-level demon blood into the storage space. Then he came to the center of the scene, and found that there was indeed a golden treasure chest lying there. Just as Chen Chenggen was about to open the gold box. With a bang, another treasure chest suddenly fell from the ceiling. All go, Clover is very powerful. Seeing 2 golden boxes in front of him, Chen Chenggen quickly understood that it was the lucky Clover that had worked. This made him very happy, and immediately opened 2 gold boxes. Gold box has been opened. Congratulations, you have obtained the market teleportation order, the potion of the soul, and the wings of the devil. Gold box has been opened. Congratulations on obtaining the power of Fire Scroll, the power of the Earth Scroll, the power of Thunder Scroll, and the soul of the king. Seeing 2 golden boxes, 7 small balls of light burst out. Chen Chenggen put away the reward of the first gold box first, and checked the specific information. Market transmission order. Effect. Consume 100 mana points, can be sent to the special scene market, when used again, can consume 100 mana points, return to the original dungeon scene. Special scene. The market gathers most of the intelligent creatures in the dungeon. After entering the market, you cannot attack anyone, otherwise you will be expelled by the market owner. Enter the special scene market, where you can trade with other intelligent creatures in the dungeon. Introduction. A token containing space magic runes, which can lead you to a certain space node in the dungeon world. Soul potion. Effect. After drinking, you will get a special ability, Soul Transformation, which can convert soul coins and evil souls one by one. The soul transformation ability lasts up to 15 seconds. Introduction. The soul contains many mysteries. Devil wings. Quality: purple. Equipment requirements: Constitution 50, Dexterity 70. Flight speed plus 100%. Equipment effect: Ascension active fly extreme speed fly by swinging the demon wings. Consumes 10/50 mana per minute, no cooldown. Demon light bomb active spray a total of 100 devil light bullets, and each light bullet can cause 100 real damage. Consumes 500 mana and has a cooldown of 6 hours. Introduction. Although it is an imitation of the devil's wings, it also contains the imprint of the power of the devil. After watching these 3 kinds of rewards, Chen Chang'an immediately felt that he had earned a lot of money. The first is the bizarre teleportation order, which is definitely a good thing. With this thing, you can enter the special scene market and communicate with other intelligent creatures in the dungeon. Among them are goblin merchants, pharmacists, and blacksmiths. It just so happens that the Wolf King sword is not perfect. If there is a good blacksmith at the market, Chen Chang'an can make the Wolf King sword even stronger. Also, and more importantly, transactions. Those intelligent creatures that have lived in the dungeon world for a long time may have a lot of good things in their hands. If it can be traded, it is definitely more stable than exploring the scene and waiting for the treasure chest to burst out with good things. At the same time, after seeing the effect of the bizarre teleportation order, Chen Chang'an understood why the pharmacist organization was born in the dungeon world. In general, the scenes in the dungeon world have a lot of randomness. Not to mention meeting colleagues, whether they can meet intelligent creatures is a question. But if there is such an existence as the teleportation order of the market, then intelligent creatures can be combined together. Therefore, it is normal for a pharmacist organization to be born. Besides the market teleportation order, the potion of soul was almost the potion Chen Chang'an wanted the most. As long as he drinks this bottle of potion, he can convert soul coins and evil souls one by one. For him, the soul coin is just a currency for trading with special people, and the evil soul is an important resource for becoming stronger. Now that soul coins can be transformed into evil souls, Chen Chang'an can increase another wave of 4-dimensional attributes. After all, the soul coins in his hand have accumulated to more than 6,000. Then Chen Chang'an looked at his hands, a pair of demon wings with a length of 2 meters. He originally thought it was a prop, or a forging material. I didn't expect this to be purple equipment. And this is extremely rare flying equipment. With this gadget, Chen Chang'an can also experience a wave of flying. In addition, Demon Wings also has an offensive equipment effect, which can cause 100 light bullets, and all of them are real damage. If all of this hits one target, it will be a full 10,000 points of real damage. This directly overwhelmed the Wolf Soul Poison Shadow effect of the Wolf King sword. Perhaps, this is the power that purple equipment should have. After reading the information about Demon Wings, Chen Chang'an was very happy. But even if the effect of the equipment is not as good as the Devil's Wings, this does not mean that the Wolf King sword is weak. After all, it doesn't even have a piece of purple quality forging material, but it can be forged into purple quality equipment. If high-grade materials can be found for refurbishment, perhaps the power of the Wolf King sword will be even more ferocious than the Devil's Wings. Afterwards, Chen Chang'an picked up the second gold box and opened the 4 rewards. Among them, the power of Fire Scroll and the power of Earth Scroll, he has opened them before. As for the power of Thunder Scroll, it was the first time Chen Chang'an had obtained it. Scroll of Thunder Power. Effect. A one-time enchantment can be applied to the weapon, so that it can obtain additional equipment effects related to the characteristics of thunder. Introduction. May the thunder destroy disasters and kill all evils in the world. After reading the information about the Thunder Power Scroll, Chen Chang'an put it and other scrolls into the storage space. Thunder is definitely a very powerful force, and its killing ability is even higher than that of flames. If it is enchanted and obtains an offensive equipment effect, its power cannot be underestimated. Then, Chen Chang'an looked at the last reward. King's Soul. Effect. It can be used for forging weapons. It is a necessary forging material for extreme, purple quality weapons and gold quality weapons. Introduction. A strong man with the potential of a king, a special soul formed after the fall. Wang Soul. seeing the guyu in his hand, emitting a faint golden light. Chen Chang'an couldn't help but smile. Now, there are high-level materials for the Wolf King sword to become stronger. No, the King Soul is a must-have for creating the ultimate purple quality and gold quality weapons. This does not mean that it can completely promote the Wolf King sword. After all, Ross said that whether it can withstand more energy resonance depends on the material of the weapon itself. So, I still lack a forging material corresponding to the purple quality as the main body, so that the blacksmith can forge the Wolf King's sword into a perfect shape. Chen Chang'an quickly remembered some of the forging knowledge that Ross had shared with him before. Wang Hun, of course, is the material. But it is an invisible thing, and it is only temporarily placed in the hook jade. Therefore, in order to make the Wolf King sword perfect, the material needed is a forging material that can create the body of the sword. But even so, Chen Chang'an was very pleased with the appearance of Wang Hun. As long as he collects suitable materials, perhaps the King Soul can make the Wolf King sword into an extreme. After putting all the rewards into the storage space, Chen Chang'an installed the demon wings first. In an instant, the devil's wings were connected to the back of the dark armor. Although there is no direct connection, Chen Chang'an's manipulation is as close as manipulating his hands. With the consumption of mana, the demon wings trembled slightly, and Chen Chang'an instantly rose into the air and began to fly. Finally experience the taste of flying. And the flying speed of the demon wings is much faster than my speed on the ground. After Chen Chang'an gradually adapted to flying, his expression was very happy. At the same time, he was also testing the limits of the demon wings during his flight. In normal flight, he can fly about 100 meters per second. As for extreme flight, the result he measured was supersonic speed. That's right, when Chen Chang'an was flying at extreme speed, the supersonic speed almost made him hit the wall. After playing for half an hour, Chen Chang'an returned to the ground, ready to go to the next scene. After a while, he, Xuanwu and AKAs walked through the dark passage together. Soon, they came to the 27th scene. I go. When he came to this scene, Chen Chang'an's expression showed a touch of shock. Because this scene is an incomparably huge desert. Even the ceiling turned into a blue sky. But if you look closely, you can find that the sky is only about 200 meters high. To say it is a mural, it is better to say that this is a huge special enchantment. However, where is the treasure of the Relic Lord? Could it be that he was buried under the desert? Chen Chang'an saw the endless desert, except for the yellow sand, and his expression was a little confused. At this moment, the treasure map in his hand suddenly turned into a rusty key. And this key flew slowly to somewhere in the desert. Seeing this, Chen Chang'an immediately followed with Xuanwu and AKAs. About half an hour later, they came to the depths of the desert. At the same time, a huge relic building changed from transparent to real at a slow speed. Such a peculiar building, if there is no key to guide, Chen Chang'an really can't find the location of this building. Chen Chang'an didn't see the whole picture of the ruins until the building was completely restored from transparent to real. The style of the relic building is very unique. It has the characteristics of Western-style mythical architecture, but it also has a sense of sight of the Parthenon in Greek mythology. Chen Chang'an continued following the guidance of the key, shuttled through huge arched buildings, and finally came to a huge palace. The palace seems to be formed of yellow sand, but on the walls of the palace, there are many strange creatures carved. Chen Chang'an glanced around and found the carving of the poisonous Wolf King. As for other creatures, he had never encountered them. With the key automatically inserted into the palace gate. With a bang, it was as if a yellow sand gate weighing several thousand kilograms opened in both directions, causing the entire relic building to vibrate. After the gate was opened, Chen Chang'an walked in and saw 3 thick stone pillars standing in the center of the palace. On each stone pillar, there is an item, namely a ring, a broken sword, and a tooth. When Chen Chang'an saw the ring and the broken sword, he thought that the treasures of the ruined lord were all equipment. Until the teeth appeared, he couldn't be rectified immediately. Perhaps it is a relatively unique prop. Seeing such a unique treasure, Chen Chang'an immediately walked over and picked it up. As a result, when he saw the information about this tooth, the whole person was stunned. Not too weak, but too fierce. Blood God's tooth, the only effect. when attacking the enemy, it will draw and convert the blood of the enemy, and restore a certain amount of health to the wearer. Every 10 blood conversions, you will permanently gain a layer of exuberant blood. Each layer of exuberant blood energy will permanently increase 100 points of health. At present, 0 layers of exuberant blood energy have been accumulated, and 0 points of life have been permanently increased. Introduction. This is the God's wisdom tooth. After seeing the effect of the blood god's fang, Chen Chenggen's reaction was very exciting. This is the 4th unique item he has obtained. Compared with the Eye of the Evil God and the Indescribable Scroll, the effect is obviously much more normal. At least like the Deep Magic Bottle, it has no side effects. Moreover, the effect of the blood god's fang is very high. Every time it attacks an enemy, it can convert blood once, which is equivalent to its own blood-sucking effect. What's more, for every 10 blood conversions accumulated, Chen Chenggen will be able to gain a layer of exuberant blood energy, directly increasing his health by 100 points. You must know that for every 10 points of physical attributes, 100 points of health will be derived. Even Chen Chenggen's current 4-dimensional attribute is more than 30 times higher than that of normal people. But based on his physical attributes of 175 points, his life value is only 1750 points. So the fang of the blood god is very important to him. At least it can permanently increase the life value and become a human with super thick blood volume. Moreover, the level of life value also has an impact on the length of lifespan. Chen Chenggen immediately put away the blood god's fang, and then took down the broken sword from the stone pillar next to it. Lightning sword, broken. Quality, purple. Equipment requirements: Strength 50, Constitution 50, Spirit 50. Attack plus 250. Equipment effect: Blood Thunder / active. Release the blood-colored thunder attached to the big sword, causing the next attack to cause an additional 5,000 points of thunder damage, and there is a 25% probability that the target will deduct 30% of the maximum HP. Consumes 700 mana and has a cooldown of 4 hours. Thunder Crash, active. Cannot be activated. The effect of this equipment cannot be used and cannot be removed. Introduction. It used to be a golden quality weapon of the Lord of the Ruins, but under the execution of the gods, the great sword broke and the king's soul was annihilated, and it became the dilapidated great sword it is today. After reading the information about Thunder Sword, Chen Chenggen was surprised. This weapon, in its complete form, is actually of golden quality. It's a pity that as the Relic Lord was killed by the gods, not only did this weapon break, but even the most important king's soul was annihilated. Without the king's soul, let alone the golden quality, even the extreme purple quality cannot be achieved. That's why the thunder-slashing great sword fell to the purple quality. But even so, the thunder-slashing sword is still very strong, and its basic attack power is 50 points higher than that of the Wolf King sword. Even its first equipment effect is very powerful. In addition to the 5,000 points of thunder damage, what's more important is the ability to directly deduct 30% of the target's maximum health. If this is to deal with some super powerful monsters and trigger this effect with a 25% probability, it can almost be compared to beheading abilities. It's a pity that the thunder-slashing sword is not complete. Almost half of the sword body is cracked. If the other half of the sword can be retrieved and rebuilt, perhaps its second effect can be activated. Although it looks strong, the Wolf King sword is more suitable for me. Chen Chenggen sighed, and then put the thunder-slashing sword into the storage space. This weapon is strong, even in terms of output, it is higher than the Wolf King sword. However, the missing half of the blade of the lightning sword was not cut into 2 halves as a whole, but the part from the center to the tip of the sword was lost. It's as if the Lord of the Ruins wanted to swing the great sword before he died, but the god cut off the great sword head on. Therefore, the blade of the thunder-slashing sword is less than 1 meter long, and its attack distance is not as good as that of the Wolf King sword. Immediately afterwards, Chen Chenggen went to the last stone pillar and took away the ring placed on it. Ruins Ring. Quality: Purple Extreme. Equipment requirements: Spirit 200. Mana regeneration speed plus 100%. Equipment effect: Blasphemy Blood Thunder active. Summon Blood Thunder to bombard all enemies in a large area, causing thunder damage of 5,000 plus Spirit attribute 50, and has a 15% chance of causing the target to collapse. Consumes 500 mana and has a cooldown of 1 hour. Power of the Lord passive, seal. You can choose to challenge the Lord of the Ruins incomplete to unseal the effect of this equipment. The 4-dimensional attribute of the Relic Lord incomplete is always 300 points. Introduction. Only with the approval of the Lord of the Ruins can you master his power. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.